Well, good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. It was a testy weekend between the president and the press who cover him. Those of you with better things to do may not have seen it, but Saturday was the night of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. That's the party where Washington's finest play dress up and pretends it's the Oscars here in D.C. The party is a little different this year, though. Not only did the media's preferred candidate fail to win last year's presidential election, a fact that was so crushing for many in the press that some literally cried on camera, but the election's actual winner did not bother to show up. Even though President Trump wasn't there, he did not ignore it. Watch this.
Media outlets like CNN and MSNBC are fake news. Fake news. And they're sitting and they're wishing in Washington. They're watching right now. They're watching. And they would love to be with us right here tonight. But they're trapped at the dinner, which will be very, very boring. But next year, maybe we'll make it more exciting for them in Washington and we'll show up. But we have a good chance of showing up here again next year, too.
Will he make that dinner great again? Meanwhile, at the dinner itself, White House Correspondents Association President Jeff Mason used his speech to complain about the president's treatment of the press. Watch.
Tonight looks a little different, but the values that underpin this dinner have not changed. In fact, I think they've been reinforced. We are here to celebrate good journalism. We are here to celebrate the press, not the presidency. And I am happy to report, for anyone who's interested, that this dinner is sold out. Our job to report on facts and to hold leaders accountable. That is who we are. We are not, and we are not, the enemy of the American people.
That was Jeff Mason. We lured him to our studio tonight, and he joins us live. Jeff, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Tucker.
So I agreed with your line that the point of the press, the reason for being, is to hold the powerful accountable. I would disagree that they do that consistently. But the dinner on Saturday night, which I did not attend but watched a tape of, was basically an extended middle finger to the president, an expression of dislike for the president. And the press shouldn't like or dislike politicians either, should it?
I totally disagree with you.
Were you there?
Was I there? You just played my clip, man.
I know, but you were like sober and watching?
Yeah, I was there. I was participating. And what you didn't do just now is play the clip in which I said, access under the Trump administration has been good. Yeah. Because it has. So I would disagree with the way you introduced this by saying we complained about the Trump administration. What we did was we said this is what has gone well, and what has gone well is we have had good access, and that is important for White House.
Well, not just good access, but overwhelming, maybe too much access.
But beyond talking about access, we also talked about the First Amendment. And the White House Correspondents Association stands up for the rights protected by the First Amendment, and it is a clear undermining of those rights when you hear some of the rhetoric that President Trump is employing.
Because, I mean, the First Amendment is being challenged and, in fact, ignored on college campuses across the country where papers can't print what they want, speakers are shouted down. I haven't heard the White House Press Association say word one about that.
The White House Correspondents Association has its lane, and it's to reach out and protect
that's a fair response.
The press and the White House correspondents.
That's absolutely right. But I haven't seen journalists who make their living under the protections of the First Amendment say really anything about the actual threats to the First Amendment, which are unfolding on campus now, more broadly. Why is that, I wonder?
Well, I can't speak for all journalists.
Well, sure, you
certainly I agree.
You kind of can. You're the head of the White House Correspondents Association.
No, I can speak for the White House Correspondents Association, and that's it. Now, there's no question.
Are you troubled by that?
Am I troubled by any threat to the First Amendment?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the speakers, the tone in the room, I mean, I watched the whole thing. Again, I was not there.
Yeah, why didn't you come?
But basically, because I was not in town.
Okay.
But basically it was, President Trump doesn't like us.
No, it wasn't.
And we don't like him back.
That's just not true.
Did you see that? Look, so I've been going to these things for 25 years.
Mm-hmm. I wish you would come to this.
I've never seen a lamer speaker or one who was just more openly partisan, the kid you hired from The Daily Show, to come. I mean, not only was not like funny, but it was basically
in his 30s, and he did a great job.
But you really thought that was great?
I think he did a really good job.
Okay.
And I think the night was about, if you look at the broad picture of that dinner, beyond just having a comedian, which we traditionally have.
Yeah.
You had Bob Woodward, you had Carl Bernstein, you had a video, you had the scholarship winners, and you had the award winners showing what the White House Correspondents Association is all about and the importance of good journalism.
So,
how did you feel about? Did you listen to Bob Woodward? And
I watched Woodward and Bernstein. Yes, look, I thought the whole evening was arranged around a response to a guy who wasn't there.
The whole evening was arranged around the First Amendment and the
right. I guess
talking about the importance of what we do and not about the president.
You don't need to convince me of that. It's all I've ever done. But I do look at the numbers from the public who believe that the press isn't straight, and I think it's a real threat to our business, and it's a real threat to sort of everything that we represent and do in the media if people don't believe us. And one of the reasons they don't believe us is because the way the last election was covered, which was overwhelmingly in favor of one candidate over another. And that's not surprising given there's no political diversity in the press corps. As you know, Politico did a study on this. How many registered Republicans in the White House press corps? Let me do the math. 0. That's a huge problem, don't you think?
I think I'm a registered independent myself. I think it's very important to be independent and neutral as a reporter, particularly when you're covering politics and covering the White House. I think that's extremely
important. I agree with
you.
Do you think that the people covering the White House rise to that standard? Do you think they're objective?
I do.
Do you read their Twitter feeds?
I mean, I can't speak for every single member of the association. I can't speak for the way every single person.
Look, I mean, let's just be real. We both have...
No, let me answer your question. I do think it's very important to be neutral. I do think it's very important to report the facts. Right. I think it's very important to report robustly what the president is doing, and I think you should do that regardless of whether the president is a Republican or a Democrat.
I agree with that vehemently, but let's just drop the pretense.
What pretense?
Here's the pretense of objectivity or independence. The press in Washington hates Donald Trump. Now, he baits them. It's a two-way deal. He doesn't like them, and he goads them. But they rise to the bait every time, and in so doing, they reveal what they really think politically, and that undermines their credibility. You have to see this, because we're marinating in it. Do you not acknowledge that's happening?
I would acknowledge that it's important that when reporters, be they correspondents on television or print reporters at the New York Times or Reuters or any other news organization, that if they make a mistake, that they should correct it. And I think that's important. I think having bias is not acceptable. I think that it's important, however, also to know when you're a consumer of news, whether you're looking at a program that is biased or is not. And there are avenues, as you well know, at places like Fox, at places like other networks, where if you watch TV, you're going to get a certain angle, you're going to get a certain opinion. Know what you're watching, know what you're reading.
Look,
correspondents who report for those organizations need to stay in their lane as well.
But they're not. And look, I do an opinion show. I've never been shy about my opinions. I tell the truth.
Do you think people who watch your show know that it's an opinion show?
Yeah, I mean, I give my opinions constantly. I never lie. I say what I really think. I'm not carrying water for any.
It's a straight news show.
Well, look, I don't know why they would think that.
Okay.
Because I never say that. In contrast to the people standing in the briefing room who are telling us on camera, I'm just here to report the facts. And then you read their Twitter feed, and they're like, basically, I hate Trump. And this is a fascist takeover of the country. I mean, they are out in the open liberal. And I would think,
do you have a specific example?
Well, we've done like 15 shows on this. I mean, and I know a lot of these people, and they've always kind of been liberal, but it's totally open. I mean, the New York Times correspondents, for example, we had the ombudsman for the New York Times on the show, read all these tweets from those people, her correspondence, she couldn't defend them. I'm just saying, as the head of the association, don't you feel that the credibility of the reporters you represent is undermined when they wave their opinions around in public?
I think it is important to report the facts and the news and to stay neutral.
Okay, so you would encourage your members not to reveal their political biases in public?
Look, it's not the Correspondents Association's job to tell our members how to do their jobs. It's just not. But we stand up for the values of truth, for the values of reporting the facts, and the value of the First Amendment, which is to have access to the president, to be able to do our jobs, and that's why we advocate for it.
But the idea that your readers or viewers believe you is central, not just to your business model.
It is.
Right. Okay. So If you had a White House press corps that was 100% middle-aged white men, there would be a full-blown outcry about the lack of diversity. And I bet you $100 you would weigh in and say, you're right, this doesn't look like America. If you have not a single registered Republican in a country in which the Congress, the majority of governorships, and the White House are held by Republicans, that doesn't look like America at all. And yet, I don't think you're doing anything about it, are you?
Well, here's the thing. The White House Correspondents Association, and that's what I'm representing on your show tonight, has no impact over who our members hire. I can't tell Fox, which is a member of the White House Correspondents Association, you need to send this person.
I'm not asking you to be the HR department. I'm just.
Well, you are. You're saying I wouldn't do anything.
I'm saying, why don't you say something about it? If there was no racial or ethnic diversity, you would say, presumably, you'd say, this isn't right. Do you think it's okay that there are 0 registered Republicans in the White House press corps, according to Politico?
I think what's important is that we have a press corps that's made up of journalists who report the truth and who robustly report on the President of the United States.
So diversity doesn't matter in this. Of course
diversity matters.
Oh, but not political diversity.
But diversity is very important, Tucker, but it is important to me in the role that I play.
That doesn't sound important at all to you. No, we're almost at time, but is political diversity important to you?
Is diversity important?
Political
of course.
diversity.
Is it my job to talk about what journalists at the White House and the White House press corps do? Yes.
Right.
What they do is report the news regardless of what political party controls the White House.
I wish I believed that. I don't. Jeff, thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
So, good day, dear humans. Good day, friends. And goodbye, fake news media. You're really going down big time. I'm very, very satisfied and happy with seeing all this developments and all the crying snowflakes' faces now openly in all the media circles. Did you notice that Trump skipped the correspondence dinner? The Oscars of all the fake news that media are organizing to indulge the president, to recognize their major place in the development of one nation. Really not. This media that we in United States, Canada, Europe still have is nothing else but totally fake and fabricated, warmongering machine. They're doing no good for people, doesn't respect people's choices. In the case of Trump, they are just going against him in all different directions, from all different angles, yet pretending that they are something of importance. They're absolutely gone from this, the scheme of important things in one's life. They try to pretend they're doing some kind of Oscar delivering dinner where everybody is praising themselves without allowing other opinions to be heard. And they are representing so-called free speech movement. And they're always throwing in your face that this is a free speech, that it's integral in their existence. It's not. It's a perks, it's a big checks, it's a fame, so it doesn't matter. It's how many viewers they have, not what is the actual message they're delivering. You notice that Trump didn't show up, so he purposefully skipped completely this dinner, being in Pennsylvania, I think, giving a speech in another factory or another big people's gathering, because this is not a people's gathering, this correspondence dinner. This is a fake news media gathering. So when they start realizing that they are absolutely ousted or become insignificant in a news delivery business, it'll be way too late. I mean, it's already too late what Tucker is doing, that you can see on a clip that I'm putting before this video. Yes, he represents Fox News, which is one of the mainstream. in a heavy control of the Murdoch family. Yet they found, with their integrity, to keep their truth coming out, trickling down. Now it's just pouring out. Now they cannot refuse him when Tucker or Sean Hannity or Bill O'Reilly, when he comes back, maybe not on Fox, but when he comes back in public eye, they will really say, and they will shape a new way of true media. Because it's very hard to fight somebody who doesn't want to recognize you as an opponent. They would ignore you until you become so into their face that they cannot live without you. So the only thing they can do now with Trump, the democratic media, the CNNs, MSNBCs, CBSs and so on, New York Times, they are just there to try to find what is wrong with their opponents. By this, they're thinking they are raising their own value, which is absolutely opposite. They are just undermining their integrity. And this undermining of their integrity cannot go forever. It can go for a couple of months more, maybe even not that long. And it will completely collapse. It will implode. It will just go into itself, and nobody would even care what these freaks want to say. So all my kind of talking end up without a title, which is very simple. Surrendering our integrity to attitudes of others. So when people stop surrendering themselves and their energetics to attitudes of this fake media, they will absolutely become disintegrated, because they will not have an energy feed from you who was listening to them, who was dialing into them. They can make 1,000 wrong pool numbers, checking who's going to win that president or whatever in American elections, the recent ones. Hillary has 93% chance to win based on CNN's 24 hours before the elections. So how this is possible that these kind of creatures are posting all this out if they're not independent, or if they're not being influenced by any of the left or rights, Democrats or liberals or Republicans. So by this, they're just proving they are absolutely fake news. They're not only fake, they actually want to harm the ones who has different opinions, which is absolutely unhumane behavior that has to stop. It has to be absolutely exposed to the level that these creatures will not even dare to come on the main TV or in the arguments with Tucker, that what this free fake Mason guy, which his last name is a Mason, comes out and defending why president was not there, that they have sold out the building. So what's the point of there? Like, if you can sold out a lousy concert, if you do a lot of advertisement for whoever, Beyonce, Madonna or something, what kind of message you're going to receive there? Is it going to be truthful? Is it going to represent all the media that exists here on the planet? And I tell you, there is many channels that they're not as prominent as Sean Hannity or Tucker or Bill O'Reilly. They are mostly YouTube channels, and they are mostly their own TV channels that are on internet channels who are completely changing the panorama of the bringing the truth. The truth is absolutely here now. So it's just for you to hear it. You just need to hear it, and not to be an ignorant prick who was doing always the same things, just watching CNN and expecting they will tell you something different. No, they will push for the war no matter what. Their warmongering, part of their machine. This is very crucial for you to accept that you have to go and sacrifice yourself in some Syria, Afghanistan, Serbia, or whatever that they want to attack or destroy, and you'll be paid by your life. And they will be paid by giving the fake news. How Americans are so proud going there in Bosnia and saving all the whoever they're inventing and killing all the rest. Who gave them the right? Who gave American previous presidents a right to go in any other country claiming any kind of stupid reasons? Nuclear, mass destruction weapons, or any kind of terrorist cells. The word terrorist cell is sitting in CIA. The word terrorist cell is a deep state within the White House, the Washington DC, where judicial system is completely screwed up so badly that nobody even want to question or bring this out until Gorsuch now start coming in. So I really hope, and I'm observing, that this is going to be a different story. That this fake judicial system of Washington District of Columbia, which is a separate entity that any parts of United States of Americas. These are United States of Americas, all sovereign by the initial Constitution rights, yet completely twisted. Now it becomes a one single corporation, again controlled by a unity called Washington DC. So you tell me that this is all normal, this is all for the benefits of the people? No, not at all. But it's not up to them to do any kind of changes, because they will not. It's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to Tucker, it's up to Sean Hannity, it's up to Red Ice TV or Red Ice Radio, the brilliant European, Swedish TV station with Lana and Henrik, two beautiful beings who are beyond any expectations, bringing such a truth that you cannot hold your pants down if you're living in the history books, or if you're thinking that the Bible is absolutely true, or you're thinking that Einstein and theory of relativity is something that we have to bow as a scientific achievement of forever. So watch them. Rather watch these beautiful beings than any of these crapsters on CNN trying to sell you their own ego. This is what it is doing. They're just selling themselves and charging hefty dollars. They're actually not even theirs. Because the CNN is paid, or it was paid until last year, $2.1 billion a year to supporting the governmental stream. Now, when this was cut by Trump, so none of these media outlets, let's call it democratic media outlets, they are so mad because the funding has been cut. And this funding was coming from you, from people who are paying taxes. So the best way to drown them into their own shit, into their own feces, because they have nothing, they didn't produce nothing of substance but shit. So eventually they have to drown in their own crap. And I, whoever I am, I'm intending that this is going to happen. In a matter of less than 3 months, these media outlets will be bankrupt, totally bankrupt. They will not be able to pay a single cent to their freaking lying or whatever, anchors. Not at all. They'll be absolutely out of the business because they will drown themselves not having funds. So all this story, it's about not let go your integrity because somebody else you put in pedestal as a main media who has to be cherished and respected, and you paying your channels very diligently. Just cut them down. Cut the TV off, in the sense of don't watch any of these crap. Don't pay them a single cent. Don't pay to any of your cable networks. Go on internet, find what you like, and just select these channels to watch. Because this way, you'll be less brainwashed than usual. Now you're 100% brainwashed by this kind of media. So what Trump and Sean Hannity are doing, and Judge Jenny and let's say some of the outside activists who are a big, integral part of it, like Ann Cotlier, these are beings, or some of the internet TV channels like Henrik and Lana in Red Ice TV. These are the beings who will just share with you their opinions and their views, and will let you choose what you want. Because this kind of free choice never has been taken away from us. Yet we've been only given one choice until recently. Now we have multiple choices where we want to go and how we want to live and how we want to see the world. It was Crapster's news network, CNN, was always crapping all over you bombs, warmongering, fear, poisons, vaccinate your children, and so on. If you just listen to them, just reverse what they're saying and you'll know the truth. If you really want to listen. But it's not only what you hear and what you see, it's so many subliminal messages inside their programming, especially in the advertisement campaigns, that it's ridiculous to be able to continue. And you feel bad after seeing a beautiful beach, and you just to see a beautiful people walking around like all in the bikinis, and you are freezing your butt in a hungry apartment where you don't have a cover or a heater to heat yourself. So what is it producing in you? Revolt? Obedience? You suddenly become filled with the strength of your integrity and your morality, how you will just get this vacation no matter what. You'll have to steal, you'll steal to go to this vacation on the beautiful sunny beach. Not. This is just a trick, and just another trick to keep you where are you, in the misery, in lack, in depression. So, would you like to go out of it? Watch Tucker, how diligently, how non-judgmentally he's giving his opinion that what these guys are doing is not nice. I'm talking to mainstream media. So he's some kind of, let's call it infiltrator within the mainstream media to bring truth. Like any other business, we cannot just delete the business. We cannot delete software to get rid of the virus. We cannot destroy the human body to get rid of the cancer. This is how, until now, they are treating it through the chemotherapies and all other very abusive techniques. Yet we have to find a way to go inside the cancer and find a way to clear it, inside out. Same as in the mainstream media. Fake mainstream media has to be slowly from within changed. So, check your attitude towards these creatures and try to do something that will make you proud. It will make you proud that you actually try to help somebody else by sharing these videos, by sharing Tucker's videos, by sharing Lana's and Hendrik's videos, Red Ice TVs, and so on. This will make you healthier. This will make you more stronger, because then you'll realize they cannot destroy or kill or smudge millions of us. They can do to 1 or 2 or 3 what I did to Bill O'Reilly, but again, he'll come back, and he'll come back much stronger with his own, let's call it TV station or TV network. Will be based off internet, so don't worry about it. It is all in a very good hands. Prime Creator's hands. He's watching all over us. I bless you all. I bless even the fake stream media, because they deserve to learn the truth. It will piss them off very badly, but we'll all laugh very soon together. How stubbornly they were holding their grudges against Trump or Tucker or whoever. They had a different opinion than theirs.